Recorded Books presents George versus George, The American Revolution as Seen from Both Sides, by Rosalyn Schanzer, narrated by Jonathan Hogan and directed by Drew Sussman.
Introduction. There were once two enemies who were both named George. George Washington was the man who freed the American colonies from the British, and George III was the British king who lost them. Was King George a royal brute? American patriots said so, but others hailed him as the father of the people. Was George Washington a traitor? The king's supporters thought so, but many celebrated Washington as the father of his country. Who was right? There are two sides to every story. At first glance. The year was 1763, and in many ways, George Washington of America and King George III of Great Britain were very much alike. Both men had light blue eyes and reddish-brown hair. King George usually wore a white wig, which was the height of fashion in those days. George Washington sometimes powdered his hair to make it look white. Athletic and dignified in appearance, each stood well over 6 feet tall, towering above most other men during a time when the average height was 5'7". Both were honest and popular with the public. They liked simple food and much preferred plain clothes to the high-fashion outfits of the period, decorated with lace, ruffles, and embroidery. George III was sometimes called Farmer George because of his lifelong interest in agriculture. George Washington was a farmer who was happiest when working on his land. Both were excellent horsemen and loved hunting. George III believed that a king should rule America. For a long time, George Washington thought so too. He had even fought bravely alongside the British Army. The people of Great Britain and the people from Britain's American colonies had a lot in common too. Most everyone on both sides of the ocean liked their good-natured, young, patriot king. English was their main language. After all, 60% of the colonists had British ancestors. London was everybody's capital city, and many Americans proudly thought of England as home. Great Britain had just won the 7 Years' War, which involved almost every country in Europe and extended all the way to India and Australia.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?